Reversed atop the Southeastern Conference with a win today after Texas A&M dropped its series finale against Mac Morgan in the Circle for Texas today. Beginning things with coffee. Morgan got the start in Game 2 last weekend against Tennessee, suffered the loss, dropped to 7-2 on the season, lasted only 2 2/3.
Yeah, Matt Morgan going out there. Expect a lot of down balls. She throws it heavy. She lives with that drop ball. She's going to stay around 65, 68 miles per hour. So if she's on today, expect lots of ground balls.
1-2 fouled off towards the Texas bullpen. One-two pitch coming to Coffee. Into left field. Maloney backs up to make the catch. Excuse me, that's Henry out in left field now for Texas. Maloney in center. Change from the initial lineup we were given there, Megan. Throwing me off. There you see the defensive order as it was presented to us in pregame that just came up on your screen, but Texas has already made a couple of changes. We'll get those to you in a moment. That one gets over the head of Bennett playing second base. Hit by Lassiter. Lisa Tori Edwards, the fabulous freshman for LSU.
Tori Edwards yesterday wasn't able to register a hit. She was 0 for 4, came up big in some big-time situations, just not able to come through like she has been so clutch all season. So LSU really looking to get a little bit more production out of her today so they can get another W up in that column and get back in that win streak, because right now they're riding a 4-game skid.
Missing away. The defensive order for Texas is Henry in left, Maloney in center. The rest of it is as you saw on your screen. Simmons in right. Go over the infield in a moment.
Yeah, but
Scott, Stewart, Bennett, and Mitchell around the infield. Atwood catching for Morgan. And yes, Stewart at shortstop today was a surprise.
Katie Stewart at shortstop. Leanne Good has been the mainstay there. This can be her first start at shortstop this season. She did play there a little bit in the fall. Katie Stewart we saw yesterday in left field.
Texas in the all burnt orange unis today. LSU countering with the all whites. Gold letters and numbers in the gold sleeves. Into center field, and that one's knocked down by Simmons before it gets to the wall, but it does result in a double for Edwards. Lassiter moves to third.
Right on cue, as we're talking about LSU really needing Edwards to step up. She does. She gets this ball on the outside part of the corner. Just a little bit too good in that pitch count and just drives it right center. Katie Simmons in right field does a nice job knocking it down, of not allowing it to get all the way to the outfield. It gets to the outfield. I think you get a run across the plate for sure.
Macy Bazaran now for LSU. One for 4 yesterday. Single to lead off the 7th for her only hit. Just saw Edwards, now Bazaran, part of the Smash Sisters for LSU. They've combined for 24 of the team's 36 home runs. 9 of them belong to Bazaran. 6 of those came against ranked opponents.
I feel like for LSU right now, you're just watching a team that was so close yesterday. They had it right there, and you're watching them be aggressive, get good pitches to swing. And this one, maybe not barreled up, definitely very good on the inside part of the plate, but does just enough to be able to get that run across.
Lisa McKenzie Rudity, who did not play yesterday. Head coach Beth Torina told us in our pregame conversation she would be unavailable, no other details, but that she would return here for game 2. And that's a big bat to add to this lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Rudity hitting .342. There's Coach Torina, 14 years now in Baton Rouge. We just missed each other. I was a local sports anchor there in Baton Rouge, and then after my time ended, she arrived a couple years later. 2-1. To the second baseman, Bennett goes to first, and LSU plays a second run. Tori Edwards scores.
You know, I'm not sure right now, Chris, but I feel like that was a textbook double play. You've got one out on the board. Bennett needs to go turn two, get out of the inning.
Simply a mental hiccup there.
I think she thought maybe looking at home, but there was no way she was even going to go home. But that, unfortunately, gets Texas right out of this inning.
And into left field, backtracking right before she reaches the warning track. Henry able to bring it in, but LSU does some circle this afternoon. She threw 5 innings in her last start against Texas A&M last weekend, giving up 4 runs, all of them earned on 4 hits. She struck out 2 Aggies and walked 2. Clopton out for the last 2 seasons due to an injury to her shoulder. She was part of a couple of Women's College World Series teams at Oklahoma State before making her way to the Red Stick. Off of Maloney. They'll make the throw, but of course she comes back to the box now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. Right off her toe right there. Maybe we can slow it down a little bit more, but I mean, she reacted pretty. There we go.
Aaron Golden, Robert Guest, J.C. Bartley conferencing to verify the call. Beth Torina not thrilled with it.
Yeah, and then I'm sure Coach Torina is going to wonder if she was in the box or not. In that replay we just saw, she was definitely still in the box.
There's Mike White, who won his 300th game as the Longhorn skipper yesterday. Another look at that last foul ball off the foot of Maloney.
She's definitely in the box and off of her foot. Good call. Right call.
Now the 0-2 pitch. And Maloney rung up.
It's a great pitch by Clopton there. She goes with that curveball, riding it tight and inside to Maloney, especially after just drilling herself with the ball. You maybe have a little bit of the yips, but she definitely went across, not able to hold up there.
First pitch to Caden Henry fouled off. Hot shot gets to the wall in foul territory in right. Henry in center field for this one. To begin the day, we thought, and now into left.
I think a few changes, right? I think let's talk about Tatum Clopton in the circle today. I think that surprised us a little bit. I thought we were going to see Jaden Heavner for sure in the circle. Their other, for the most part, number 2 starter. Clopton, however, looking really strong here. She's going to go up, down. She's got a great curve as we've seen so far. And I think right now, Coach Beth Tarina looking maybe to give another breather for Huebner. Huebner had a really tough outing against A&M last weekend. She was only able to go 2/3 of an inning. She gave up 7 earned runs, 5 walks. And so, again, just really trying to, I think, ease her back into it. She's just a freshman. That's a tough outing for anyone to have to endure, especially at A&M. You have the fans that are out there. If you have those 5 walks, their ball count, and they're chanting at you. And so, again, you want to be very delicate with how you put her back in.
One hopper to Edwards at first. Scott will step in. She provided some of those dramatics yesterday for Texas. 6th inning, and the Horns had yet to get any offensive production. Caden Henry drew a leadoff walk, and then Scott knocked a shot beyond the 220-foot sign on that center field wall.
This is just Clopton's second start in SEC play. And I just like already right now that she is going right at these Texas batters with that curveball inside. It's been 3 lefties in a row that she has not been afraid to throw that curveball. Tuck it right inside there. And Mia Scott kind of daring her to do it with where she's standing in the box right now. And there it is. And I want that one called a strike for sure. Your Bazaron back there. But I like that. I like the confidence. That's what you want to see out of your pitcher in the circle.
2-1 is the count against Scott. .453 her batting average. Clopton got that start last weekend against Texas A&M. Before that, had an appearance against Georgia in relief. So 3rd time to face an SEC foe.
A wicked changeup.
Her best outing came back on February 14th against Texas Arlington. Went 7 innings in that one, allowing just 2 hits and striking out 10 Mavericks. Reset back for the 3-2 offering from Clopton to Scott with 2 out. Line shot under the glove of Edwards. 2-out single for Scott. He'll bring up Reese Atwood.
Here you're going to see them go inside. It's that curve. It's elevated just a bit. Not quite as tight because of where Mia Scott's standing on the plate. Does a great job barreling it up and getting it past Tori Edwards at first.
First pitch to Atwood. Missing inside. We talked with Coach White before the game yesterday, and he said that Atwood's poise and production in stressful situations continues to be elite. Boy, did that turn out to be prophetic.
Yeah. I mean, I think you watch that whole game, right? You look at the score, you're like, really? Was it a pitcher's duel? But it was in the first 3 innings. You know, both of these offenses are so potent in the SEC and nationwide that I think you watched a hitter like this go hitless until the 7th inning. And so that's what you're talking about, staying poised and staying true to herself and doing it. Is the very first pitch she saw. And it was a no-doubter.
And you saw it just pop up on your screen. What a great fact from our research department. That walk-off grand slam yesterday, first time in Texas Longhorns history that had happened.
That's wild. I can't believe that's the first time. What a perfect person to have that happen to.
Increasing her lead, the all-time RBI leader, this time sat down by Tatum Clopton.
Tatum Clopton going with the off speed, the way that she's been able to command the plate, throwing it at both. Day starts, or in this case, Thursday, Saturday starts for Texas. She's really working into that role, and it's something different this year for sure. Last year there was 3 of them that they were really figuring out, and the rest of the staff, as far as Texas goes, Mac Morgan's been picking up that day 2 start, and you're going to probably see Sitlali come in after one time through the order. Potentially 2. It just depends, right? How Mac Morgan's feeling, how she's able to keep going.
Off the foot of Maddox McGee, who started a little bit of chippiness between these teams. It's safe to say, as McKee was rounding first base, Jolie Mitchell in her path. And McKee didn't pull up. We talk about LSU and the all-gas mentality. In that moment, on a routine single, it seemed like the brakes should have been thrown on.
Yeah, I think you're going to hear a little bit from both sides in that type of situation, right? A first baseman should not be in the way, right? And I probably think Mitchell's not going to be standing there much longer at all. But yeah, I think when the right fielder has the ball in her hand and you're just rounding, there's no need to collide.
Here's Jaden Leno. First pitch to her in the zone. Leno 0 for 4 yesterday. Now on a 3-game hitless streak for the first time since early March. In that case, she went 4 consecutive games without a base hit. 2 games versus South Alabama and then 2 against Minnesota.
Oh, that's a good looking pitch right there. I was talking about Clopton and how well she's able to command that inside corner to those lefties, and I really like the spot Mac Morgan went there. Not sure where it missed.
2-1 into left. Henry backtracking. 2 out for Sierra Daniel now. Daniel had her 5th multi-hit game of the season yesterday. Singled in the 2nd and the 6th. First pitch fouled back into another packed house in Austin. Back-to-back sellout crowds, as you would hope you would get when the number 9 team in the country is facing the homestanding number 3 team. Shallow fly ball, and Henry slides to make the grab. A 1, 2, 3 inning.
That's every athlete's dream, is if you have something like that happen to you on defense, you get the opportunity to come up and hit at a time where you're within 1 and you get to hit a home run to tie the ball game. I mean, you dream of a situation like that, and you really get to be like, oh yeah, do that again.
Mitchell grounding that one foul past Coach White. Celebrating his 300th victory at the helm of this program yesterday. We asked him about it in pregame, and he didn't think much of it. Not worried about the milestones, just grateful to be at a fantastic school, to coach at this level. Just wants to focus on the next game, and those win totals will take care of themselves.
Yeah, and with it being number 300 for him, it was number 40 for Texas as a squad on the season. 6 years in a row, they've had a 40-plus win season. Another huge accomplishment, and all of that under Coach White.
Two pitch coming. Mitchell stays alive. I think the Texas softball social media had the line of the day in regards to that situation. When push comes to shove, Jolie stands tall. That's the kind of thing I wish I could have thought of on my feet when she went yard. They have a good 30, 60 seconds to come up with lines like that. We have to do it
I know.
blink of an eye.
We might even have a minute. Take a look here, Chris, where Jolie's standing in the box. She's up in the box, which is far different from what we saw Mia Scott.
Mitchell in the left, and that'll get to the base of the wall. After a game-tying homer yesterday, Mitchell starts her offensive performance today with a double.
Yeah, Jolie Mitchell, what an at-bat, fouling off plenty of pitches, making adjustments in the box. This is a hard pitch. That is a good pitch. It's a drop ball low and in, and you see she's able to go down and get it and barrel it up and drive it. Just a really great at-bat. She doesn't even have to finish her swing. She gets her barrel there on time, and her power does the rest.
Here's Katie Stewart. Enters the day in a three-way tie atop the SEC RBI leaderboard. 62 of them this season. One of the other players in that three-way tie is playing first base right now, Tori Edwards.
And just like Tori Edwards, Katie Stewart wasn't able to get a hit yesterday. She was 0 for 3, and someone who's really battling to get back in that hit train, just get back to feeling well, because clearly you look at these numbers, she has the ability, and she has been hitting all season long. 62 RBIs is just incredible.
Reese Atwood just one back into left field. Stewart puts a charge into it. That'll be a double. Runner sent home. And after Hodge can't find the handle, Mitchell able to score. Texas pulls within one.
Jolie Mitchell really lucky right there that Avery Hodge bobbles that ball, because I think she hesitated at second. She was trying to see. Here again, going inside. They're really trying to hammer that inside corner on these Longhorns. That ball elevated just enough. Katie Stewart able to get under it. Great relay in there by Leno. Just not able to get it taken care of.
Tigers 2, Longhorns 1. Nobody out in the bottom of the second after consecutive doubles by Mitchell and Stewart. Now Katie Simmons laying down a bunt, moving the runner over. Simmons is retired. Stewart now to third base.
And I think that just tells you right now where Coach White's at with his offense, knowing how important each one of these games are right now, that they're playing for one run right now. They're just playing to get this game tied, being able to sacrifice Stewart over to third.
Vic Hunter gets the start today. Sophomore out of Houston, hitting .206 on the year. Just her 11th start this season.
I'd love to see a mile per hour on that changeup. That thing's coming in there slow. There it is again. Good job behind the dish. Bazaran really trying to get that one called a strike off the plate.
Top of the first yesterday, I was looking on the scoreboard. There's no radar gun on there, unfortunately.
I know.
2-1.
I'm LSU. I want to stay away from Victoria Hunter. She just has such a powerful swing, but it's built to hit that inside corner.
Takes another, and Hunter is aboard. Runners on the corners for Texas. K.D. Bennett will have a chance to tie things up. Texas offense, top 10 in the country in all four of these important categories, including that .367 batting average. These are two of the top hitting teams in the SEC. That Texas average, second best in the country. 367, the only team doing better, the Indiana Hoosiers. They're hitting 384.
And
I think we'll have a moment to chat with Coach White before the 1-0 pitch is offered.
Looks like Beth Trina's going to come out and chat with her pitcher too. Talk with the staff. You got a first and third situation. Deciding if they're going to get the out at second. If they're going to have someone cut across. Feel like when you're looking, like you're just talking about these offense, and you know how powerful Texas's offense right now. Number 1 in the SEC batting average. You're like, okay, they're just going to let her rip right here. But, you know, not with the batter you have. Katie Bennett. Then you have Ashton Maloney. They're touch and go type girls. They have a little pop. Yes. Can they get it out there? Could you get a sac fly? Sure. But I think that's where you're wondering how LSU is going to set up. And it looks like they're going to pull the infield in. Center field's pulled in. Trying to get that play at home.
Sydney Berzon is getting loose in the LSU pen. 1-0. That one caught at short by Hodge. On to first to double off Hunter. And LSU gets out of the inning. 1 out. First pitch from Morgan, grounded to Stewart and on to Mitchell. A quick 1 up, 1 down.
I feel like that's really been the first play that we've seen Stewart get tested over there at shortstop. First start here for Stewart at shortstop. Had a chance at that shallow fly ball. Caden Henry came up to get that one instead.
Mike White visiting with home plate umpire Aaron Golden before going to take the ball from Mac Morgan. Pitching change with a 1.43 ERA. Replacing Mac Morgan right before Jayla Lassiter's at bat. Lassiter first pitch swinging against Gutierrez. Takes this one to the wall. A one-hopper. Slides in for a double.
Great job by Lassiter being able to just dial in first pitch she sees. I think a lot of times that's a great approach. I mean, that ball is middle, up in the zone. I mean, she's lucky, quite frankly, Gutierrez, that ball didn't leave the park for where the location of that pitch ended up being. But I feel like a lot of times relief pitchers are coming in. They just want to get that first strike, so what a great one to attack.
First pitch to Edwards. And Coach White told us yesterday that Mac Morgan is effective, but best used just one time through the order. She ended up facing Coffey twice, but other than that, just a single trip around. But Lassiter able to take advantage, and Gutierrez enters.
Yeah, and I think if you look at this lineup and Lassiter didn't get a hit her first at bat, Tori Edwards didn't, you maybe see Mac Morgan in there a little bit longer, but this is when you had 3 hits in a row from Lassiter, Edwards, and Bazaron. Good time to make that switch.
Edwards doubled. First time up, came around to score. Two-one. Now 2-2. And we asked Beth Torina if this was expected. Did you think Edwards would be this red hot to start her career? Can't expect this. 62 runs batted in her rookie season.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can expect that. You never know. Not with you then jump into this SEC grind, incredible pitching, and she's just not slowed down.
3-2 pitch. Fouled off. Edwards coming to LSU from Flower Mound, Texas. Her brother played football for LSU, transferring in from Columbia. And those battles in the weight room are things of legend. Tori hanging tough with her brother in those. And this time knocking one over the wall. Tori Edwards with a 2-run homer for LSU. As my friend Lynn Rollins would say in Tiger Park, you can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye.
You know, right before that pitch, she looked at her dugout and she told them the spin that she was seeing. She gave like a little hand motion to what she saw, and she is just absolutely dialed in on that one. And that's the student of the game that also Beth Torina talked about. That's supposed to keep going away. That looked like that was supposed to be a curve away. It kind of stuck right there on the corner, and Tori Edwards, middle of the box, got all of it.
Macy Bazaran try to follow that up. She had an RBI single in the first. Infield playing on a shift against Bazaran as Bennett moves over to the left of second base from our perspective. See it there, Bennett, Stewart, and Scott from right to left. 2-0 the count.
Well, interesting that you're going to pull your infield all to the left side and still throw to the outside part of the plate. That's a little risky. However, it was a changeup, expecting her to pull it. Clearly, they see her spray chart that she is a pull hitter.
A 4-pitch walk. Issue to Bazaran. That'll lead to a mound visit for Gutierrez. Nothing but pain for her so far. Entered with 1 out and has proceeded to allow a double, a home run, and a base on balls.
Yeah, and I feel like not what you want, especially coming off of that Tennessee appearance that she had. She came in relief. She threw 4 1/3, only scattering 4 hits, striking out 3, just 1 earned run, and you're really wanting to ride that coming into here. That's a tough start.
Sold out crowd, a good number of Tiger fans made their way to Austin. I think that's true for fans of all sports, of pretty much all SEC teams. When Texas was added to the league, I think I want to make that road trip to Austin pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. And vice versa. You know, when we heard that that was coming, I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Now I have a reason to go to Death Valley. I have a reason to go check out some of these schools. I want to go to Stark Vegas, see what that's all about.
To the second baseman, Bennett. Chance at a double play. No. As Stewart decides to eat it. And that was the right call, with Rudity making her way down the line.
I think the way that this bounced over there to Bennett takes her back a little bit, gets rid of it just fine, but not with the added speed. Rudity.
Avery Hodge takes the first pitch for his strike right down the pipe. Hodge 1 for 3 yesterday, 2-run single in the 4th. Very familiar with these Texas Longhorns. As Hodge, transfer from Oklahoma, 2-time national champion with the Sooners. Unable to get that call on the outside part of the plate.
That's tough. You really want to get that. I think maybe could have called it a little upstairs. I feel like it was right on the line.
The 1-2 into left for Henry. No problem. But Tori Edwards delivers some fireworks for LSU in the top of the 3rd inning. Barely